graphic later. To Maryland, Ohio State.
You're
Ohio
welcome.
State a 19.5-point favorite. An over-under of 55.5. Parks, this one is, or to Schaefer, this is all you, actually. What are you thinking about this one? You
Big
signed
Ten
up.
guy.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, the Big Ten expert myself, I figured I could take this game for everybody. Just a couple of things. It's all about Maryland in this game. I mean, everybody has watched Ohio State this year. Everybody knows what they're going to see, what Ohio State takes the field. But have you really watched Maryland? Has anybody really watched Maryland? Probably not, and I wouldn't blame you because they're 4-0 and let's be honest, they haven't played anybody, and that's maybe an understatement. So a couple of things. If Maryland's going to want to keep this thing close or even just covering, there's a couple of things that's going to need to happen. Tuilia is going to play absolutely perfect. He's going to have to play perfect, and I mean no turnovers. He's going to have to be efficient. He's going to have to complete 60% of his passes. He's going to have to stay on the field. He's already got 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns this year. My very hot take of him winning Big Ten Player of the Year, I mean, that's kind of like this is your coming out party if that's actually going to come true. You're going to have to keep those numbers up against a legitimate Jim Knowles defense. Like this Ohio State defense is legit. He hasn't seen anything like it this week. They had the bye week too, which is concerning because you know that they were looking at every tendency that kid's had. And you've seen what like a Phil Parker defense has done to him. I know that was a few years ago, but kind of makes me nervous that they can get back to his old tendencies with a week off, a stout defense, and with some scouting. The other side of the ball, how good is Maryland's defense? I mean, they've been very solid this year. Outside of Charlotte, when they gave up a touchdown with a minute to go, they've given up only 14 points or less in every single game this year. They've given up over 200 passing yards only once this year. So you got to play who you got to play. I mean, I can't discredit them for that, but what they've done so far has been really good. Ruben Hippolyte, the second, has been fast. He's their best linebacker. He's going to have to be all over the field covering running backs, receivers, you name it, because there's too many to cover. In the back end, the safeties is probably the best part of this Maryland defense, and they're really going to have to be sharp in their game if they're going to want to try to contain this Ohio State receiving core. So a lot's going to have to happen. They're up for it this week, but I think they have the pieces to possibly get a cover and maybe make it a game in the first half or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think this has.
When I take a look at Maryland, I just
scary.
God damn it!
What? He stopped talking. I started
This
talking
episode.
right away. I started talking as soon as
I
you
mean,
Oh
said
man,
not
he
really.
started talking and then he was 5 words in and then you started talking.
All right, somebody else like transition us then.
I got you. I can do it.
All right,
Go ahead.
Schaefer. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I think this is kind of the general spot that people are used to with this Maryland team, or at least Big Ten fans are. Maryland usually starts at 3-0, 3-1, 4-0, 4-1 range, and then they run into conference play and they get obliterated, end up 6-6, 7-5 at best. So if they want to get through this point, you really open up some discussions on whether or not Maryland can be a contender ever in this conference, because this is the best they've been in a while. So it's a very important game.
This is like the game that we all know, like this is why we never take Maryland seriously. It's games like this. So JP, please give us your thoughts on this. We do want to hear what you have to think on this game.
I mean, I kind of thought it was simple as like, you got to stop laughing. I'm doing my best here.
Yeah,
Dude,
Parks, enough. Shoo.
I mean, come on.
What do you want me to do? It sounds normal on my side. For me on this one, it's simply, can you protect Tuilia? Can you keep him upright? If he's going to make plays, he's going to have to be able to move around in the pocket and stay upright. Ohio State is good defensively. I don't know if Maryland can buck up with them, though, in the trenches and really stop a run and really force things to get out of hand. So I kind of see it as it's going to be more of a maybe Ohio State slows it down. They don't want to get into an air raid match with them, especially if McCord hasn't quite hit that stride yet. So I kind of see it as just more of a grind it out. I like the under a little bit. I don't think they're going to give Tuilia the possessions.
No, I can definitely see that. Reese, before we get to our predictions, do you have any thoughts on this game?
Ohio State defense is going to be way too good. Maryland hasn't seen anybody. Ohio State in a rout.
That was very enthusiastic. Reese is pretty certain on this. I'll go first since I covered it. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I think Ohio State wins, but Maryland covers. I think 19.5, maybe you see 20.5 by kickoff. I think it could get pretty high, and I think this Maryland team is different this year. Now, are they good enough to win in the shoe? Probably not, but I think there is a little bit of an edge to them. Parks, who do you got?
Yeah, I think Ohio State kind of starts slow the way they've done throughout the year. I don't know if I've seen enough comfortability from McCord in that offense yet to know if they're going to be just murdering them by halftime, but I do think they pull away and they're going to cover the 19.5. I'm on the opposite side, Jake. I think Ohio State wins big and covers, but it'll be close for a half.
That's fair. I mean, you get a spread this large. I would highly doubt we're all going to agree on one. Reese, what do you got?
Ohio State to win and to cover. Don't worry, I'm not going crazy.
Jordan, you gonna leave me stranded here, or what do we got?
No, I have like a 28-17, 28-14 game, so that would throw you in the cover realm.
Let's go, baby.
I just don't think you get the possessions, and I think if Ohio State can control the football and run it, I think it's just going to be a longer day and tough to put the ball in the end zone for the Terps.